your day in the field yesterday?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, who were you
TJ
with?
left me a little bit earlier, at like 3 o'clock.
TJ?
Yeah, new guy.
Someone guy?
Yeah.
Oh, you and him together?
Yeah, just for the morning. Oh, it's like 3 o'clock.
And then were you solo?
Yeah.
What site were you at?
Huh?
What site were you at?
Fortunately, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Good sight. Oh, really? Well, you don't like that one?
Hey?
Don't like that one?
Oh, it's alright. Less people stop.
Less people stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a controllable or an uncontrollable?
Controllable.
So, yeah. So not something that we should be focusing on then, right?
No.
Well, it is something we can focus on, but not something we want to blame.
No, but I found that the people that I did stop would always get to at least like pretty close.
Yeah,
So.
good quality, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you work at a site that's like that it's kind of like working on the street, pretty much. Like it's like it usually is a little bit of a different challenge to stop people. But the benefit is you can get people that aren't just going to the store, the people just walking around the main street area. But those ones are a bit harder to get.
Yeah.
So you've got to be really focused on that distance and that like big body language and more engaging. Be a bit more out there, pretty much. Cool. Alright, so guys, I've got a little topic here based on building a team. So for some of you guys, we're a bit ahead of that, but I think it'll still be good. So there's 4 quadrants to it. So if you guys want to take some notes on this one. You could call it how to grow in the business or how to build a team, okay? So the first one, number 1, is sales, okay? So out of the 4 things, the first step is sales. I think, if I look back to when I first started in this industry 15 years ago, there's more money being made now for everyone, for the guys in the field doing sales, for you guys, for the guys building teams, for the business owners, than there ever has been, right? Which is good, because as the economy's changed and the world's changed and incomes have gone up and living costs have gone up and all that stuff, it's kind of gone up at the same time, which is good. When I first started in the business, the only way you could make good income was to train people and get the team incentives. But now we've got sales high rollers that can make 100 grand a year just in sales. So, for me, part of the reason that I'm running a business now is because I just wanted to make more money than I could only make like $500-600 a week doing sales. I might, if I was real good, I might make $1 grand. And sometimes you go on road trips and do big scores, but I don't reckon I could have made like 60, 70, 80K plus across the year just doing sales. I had to be able to learn how to manage a team and earn that percentage of the team stuff. So I think it's really important to understand for you guys that sales is a big earner for you, and you want to try and master that as much as you can. So the first thing in sales is volume. You got to get your sales volume up, and I know some of you guys are brand new in your first few weeks, some of you guys in the first few months, some a bit longer, but it helps build your reputation. If you can do a lot of sales and just work it out, you need to be someone that's being read out in the morning meeting, getting your results read out, talked about every day, because everything just gets easier. Because let's say Matthew's in his 4th week and he's been read out every day in the morning meetings. He's been doing 15 a week, he did like 25 on a road trip, and then Justin, who's on his first day, gets put with Matthew. How is Justin going to feel about working with Matthew? He might feel a little bit intimidated, but he's going to be excited. He's going to go, this guy's fucking good. Because he's got that credibility already without saying anything, without doing any training, just from him knowing that guy's scores have been like, fuck, he's like the best guy to work with.
Yeah, I felt that with Manny.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. So the sales volume and that credibility is super important. So make sure you're focusing on that stuff there. Just makes everything easier for you, especially when you start training new guys. The second one is quality.
Hi.
Hello.
May I please have a whiteboard marker?
I have 3. What color do you want?
Oh, I'll have the blue one.
Go for it. No worries.
Hi.
So quality. Okay. So volume is good. Yeah. But if you don't do sales the right way, if you don't talk about retaining customers and if you don't talk about rejects and managing that side of things, getting the right age groups, whatever you do, your team or people that you work with is going to copy the same habits. Yeah. So. Sometimes we get too caught up in the result thing and remember that we can still find the right people if we do, like, if we stock the right amount of people. But sometimes we get a bit lazy, and the problem with charities is you only need to find 3, 4, 5 people a day to sign up. And I know some of you guys might be like, what do you mean only? That's a lot. But if you're good at what you do, you can work with people who only stock 10 or 15 people a day and find 3 or 4 to say yes. And that's a lazy way of selling. And the risk of that is that you'll sign up some people that you probably could have let go. And if you screened 40 or 30 or 25, you know, in terms of your contacts, then you probably could have found 4 or 5 really good ones instead of 4 or 5 okay ones, because you just took what you could get because you didn't do as many stocks. So it's really, really important you're focusing on quality. Another thing that goes along with quality is retention of the site. So like looking after your customer service with the site, when you get there, checking in, saying hello, trying to build a bit of a relationship with the store, people that work there. Be aware of your intro, like your volume in your intro, and like the tone and how it sounds if you were a store worker. So like if you ever see a person come out to grab the trolleys, or the manager pops out for a ciggy or something like that, like just be aware that they will listen to you, and your intro needs to sound super enthusiastic, like really nice, like, hey mate, how's it going? Rather than like, hey, before you shoot off mate, I'm just going to grab you for 30 seconds. Like it's a bit more intense, a bit more aggressive. And not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but if staff are around, just reel it back a little bit, you know, just hold back a little bit, cool. And then just general customer service. If people end up not signing up, or voiding on the iPad, or you know, getting to the close and coming up with excuses and return their objections and stuff like that, the very last point of contact we want to have with that person is you want to try and have everyone walking away from you with a smile from the interaction, right? So even if I turned their objection 3 times because they were a good quality customer and I wanted to try and get them, at the end of the day, and even if they got a little bit pissed off with me, I would, hey, look, sorry mate, like my mum said if I don't ask, I don't get, okay? And we're really trying to do a good job for these charities, so sorry if I was a little bit cheeky, but at the end of the day, it's a great cause, and I'd really appreciate if you just considered it and maybe go home and think about it, and you can always donate on the website when things are a bit better for you. Yeah, again, like I don't mean to be a bit cheeky, but you know, Half-Finished is a great cause. We want to make sure we're doing our best to raise that money. Cool. Yeah. So try and like, I don't know, finish, sort of smooth it off at the end if you feel like you're a little bit too cheeky with your objections or whatever. But make sure you're trying to, as much as you can, focus on customer service. The next part is consistency. So volume is great, but consistency is more important. I'd rather someone do 3 every day than do like 8, then 0, then 6, then 1, you know what I mean? Because the hardest thing to do is go to every site, at every demographic, and still get a solid result. So that's what you'll find the best salespeople can do. And the reason for that is, if you want to write this word down, they can adapt. Yeah? So you've got to adapt to wherever you're going. So when you first get to the site in the morning, like I'd be trying to use like as many different intros as I could, just to try and mix it up. So I'd try like being a bit more, I'd start off being real laid back. I'd probably start off being more like, I might even have a seat or leaning against something. I'll be like, morning, how are you? Hey, Rich, grab everyone for a second. That's how I like my intros. I try that for like 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, and see if I get some hits on that, right? I'm just testing the water, so I'm just chucking a line in the water, seeing if the fish are gonna go for that bait. Yeah? Get a few bites, but didn't really in, then I'll change my intro. Then I'm like, okay, that a different approach didn't work. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to hustle a little bit more now, right? So, but morning. Hey, just before you race in, I'll just steal you for a sec. And then I'll see if that one works, yeah? And then I'll try a bit more of a, maybe I'll try a few more jokes. Cool, well, we just got free trolley parking. I just have to pull over here for a second, or just like whatever, right? Because there's some pretty lame ones out there. The guys are like, is that a leak in your trolley? Like, and there's actually a leak in the trolley. I'm like, oh my god, you know, stuff like that.
So like trying out different impulse techniques.
Yeah, and like different intensity levels. Like I always start on the relaxed first and then try and build it up. Because if I can work at a site, like, well, this is the dream for me because I'm quite an indifferent guy. If I can work at a site where I can be a little bit enthusiastic, but mostly chill all day and get stops, easiest day ever. Morning, how are you? Hey, just before you race, can I just do it for a second? Oh, awesome. Hey, thanks for putting the brakes on. I'm Mark. We're just doing a quick one for Heart Foundation. Probably heard about us before. Appreciate your time. I'll keep it nice and short for you. Tell me what you know about it so far. And then I'm just like that tone of voice, relaxed, quiet, low energy, means I can maintain my energy all day. I'm not going to get into that or whatever. And maybe as the day goes afternoon, I haven't got any stops. I'm like, oh fuck, in 20 minutes, got 0 stops. Okay, I'm going to try a bit more intensity. Sweet. That's the great thing. Even the same site at different points of the day is going to be different, right? You guys can relate to that, especially with like a supermarket. Sometimes the site changes and there's a certain point you notice the change. Often supermarkets will have a dead patch from like 12:30 or 1, 2-ish till like 4:30 even sometimes, and then it picks up again, and then it's like a different site. And then even then 5 till 6, it's like fucking hard to stop people, but it's busy and you can see all the quality customers. But then you know what happens at like 6 o'clock? It goes back to being chill again. And it might quieten down, but the demographic's still there. So sometimes we get now in here, we're like, oh, we've missed the busy patch, but I'm like, yeah, but the quality's still good. And then you can go back to being more like, oh, how are you? Instead of like, before you race off, because it was fucking intense. So the same site, you need to adapt throughout the day. And then you go back to the same site the next day, exact same site, different trends. You're like, what the fuck is a morning trend now? At a supermarket. It's busy in the morning, it was quiet yesterday morning. So you've got to adapt so much all the time to different sites. Cool. Be consistent with your habits for you guys. So if you want to write down like your habits in terms of like, the hardest one, I reckon the hardest one for you guys at your age is bedtime. Just fucking get enough sleep, man, honestly. That's the biggest key to having a good attitude. And if you guys have like read any books or listened to any podcasts on sleep, holy shit, it will blow your mind. It's probably still won't help you get to bed on time, but the difference of like missing an hour or two sleep, it changes everything. You could have 8 hours sleep every night. One night where you only have 4 hours sleep, fuck shit.
It F's up your circadian rhythm.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Immunity, all that stuff. You get sick more often, and you're just grumpy when you're a bit tired. Like it's so much easier when you've had a good night's sleep. When that one person tells you, "Fuck off," you're like, "It's all good, man. No worries, sweet heads." Instead of taking it personally, and going, "Oh man, fucking another one, let me fuck off," or you're like, "What do you mean? Gonna fight you? What was that? Come here, come." Cool. So make sure you get enough sleep with those habits, and then you can focus on diet and exercise as well. But honestly, sleep is the number one, I would say. Cool. And I'm like, for me, I've got 2 kids, and I'm like, I've forced them to go to bed early, man, every night. I'm like, because I'm not dealing with them tired. It just sucks. Like, it's just little shits. Not even their fault. They just didn't sleep enough. Okay. I would say a little extra tip on consistency is try and have like an hour of power, okay, where you try and hit a goal from like 4 to 5, or it might even be 5 to 6. Have you guys heard of an hour of power before? So it might be something extra you chuck in your little routine. Didn't get enough sleep, mate. Try and have that hour of power, 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 every day. And if you can have that where you're like really fucking hustling, it will change your outcome, right? So, can I do that? I'll go ready for another one. Next one coming out, Paul. So, if I'm on 0 sales at 5 p.m, I know every day I can do 2 sales. So if I'm on 0, fucking going again. I know that if I do no sales until 5 p.m, I can still ring the bell. I've done it so long that I believe that. You guys don't have that yet, right? Some of you guys don't have that yet because you haven't done sales long enough. So if I'm already on 2, in my head I'm locked for 4. Even if I haven't done any more sales, it's 5 p.m. Instead of going, sweet, only an hour and a half to like cruise, I'll bounce soon, or the site's closing at 6, so just relax for the last hour and then leave. What's the point? You're on commission, just go home now. Just fuck off early if you're going to be like that, right? Like have that hour 5 till 6 where you're going to give it fucking everything, right? And 2 sales should be the goal, power hour. So regardless of what you're on, whether it's 0 or you're already on 4, you're trying to have 2 sales from 5 onwards. Cool. Okay, next part. And still on sales, so it's a long time. Next part is road trips. You got to get on some road trips. There's a half a dozen road trip to New Plymouth next week. It's going to be huge. Great spot to go. Cold as fuck, so if you're going on that one, bring some warm gears. I have one of my coldest road trips of my life there, right? I've been to Queenstown as well, and this one week in New Plymouth is cold, I swear to God. The wind comes straight off Mount Taranaki. Half jacket. It was worth it. Gloves, beanie, whole lot. But get on road trips. It's just to build your confidence, to build the culture. Really good. Get on road trips. Bulletin. Try and feature on the bulletin. So there's this thing called the bulletin. I'll see if I can find one of my emails real quick. Let's see the bulletin. Last week, Roger had a pretty good look at the bulletin. So Manny came number 2. And these are the top guys. Chase, you guys know Chase? Some of you guys know Chase. He was number 1. Arno was number 1 equal. Lou number 3. So number 1, 2, 3 were all driver code. Who's that guy? Who's that guy? James Dimmitt. Who's that? There he is. There he is. Mate, he yawns every day, but he still does 16 in a week. And then we've got Gabriella 10th, so pretty good week. And then there's top teams. So if you guys try and feature on that, I think it's one of your checklists anyway. To go on the bulletin. It might be for is it the sales leader or core leader? One of those two.
Core leader.
Core leader, yeah. So and some of the guys that you've already ticked that off. Some of the guys that get to core leader have already done that, like when they're a sales leader, new leader. There you go, you can tick it off already. So it's a bulletin, so try and get on that one if you can. Again, for credibility, if nothing else. Try and be a high roller, try and be competitive, get to the top. The cool thing about sales is that you don't have to be like Manny to be as good at sales as Manny is. Like my sales approach is quite different to Manny's sales approach, and we compete all the time. Like when I was in the field, I used to kick his ass sometimes, he'd kick my ass sometimes. But and Guy is the same. You guys met Guy from Ignitions. He's more of definitely more of an introvert kind of guy, more relaxed, more chill. Some people are more extrovert and like lots of energy. So there's different styles. It doesn't matter. You can still be a high roller. Guy's one of the best sales guys. He's the best in his company. He's one of the best for the whole one-off division. And he just sits there. He's like real flexible. He sits there like this. I don't know how he does it. And then he crosses this leg under this leg somehow. Anyway, but he just sits there with a Rubik's Cube, just like chilling. And then people come past and go, oh, hey mate, just like super relaxed. And he's just got an awesome, he engages people really well in conversation, really long, relaxed, and then signs them up. So there you go. Try to be a high roller. And just your own PBs. So make sure you guys record your own PBs. So you should all know your best day in the city, your best day on the road trip, your best week in the city, your best week in the road trip, your best hour you've ever had. Like most of my sales, anyone ever like done more than a sale in an hour before? How good is it? What's your max? What's your most?
I got 3.
3 in an hour. Yeah,
I think it's 2 or 3.
that's fucking crazy, man. That's huge. So, and I've done sales for 15 years. My best day ever I've had is like, I've done a couple of days, I've done like 15 plus sales in a day. But I don't think I've ever done more than 3 in an hour. 3 in an hour is pretty awesome, so there you go, man. But it's just consistency again. So if I'm aiming for a big day, I try to ring the bell every hour. That's fucked, right? But it's possible. It's possible. It's possible to do it. So yeah, get these records. Number 2. So that was all sales out of the 4. Number 2 is training. So in the office, product training. Make sure you know your content. Make sure you know all of the topics. I should be able to quiz you. So Jack's been around a little while, he's running a couple of topics. I should be able to quiz on all the topics and be like, what are the 5 ways of asking? Or what's the disc theory? Or all these topics, right? And for some of you guys haven't been through those ones yet, they should be like, bam, 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 I know them. Cool? So if you don't, make sure you know your content. And for you guys that are newer, make sure you know the topics that you've learned and your notes. You should just review them every couple of weeks. So I should be able to go like, what's the objection handling model? And you should go agree, repeat, reinforce, close. Just like that. Cool? Or what are the 5 impulses? Yeah? Anyone got those?
Is it
Assurance.
Not you two?
assuredness? You have social. Is it social proof?
No.
Oh wait, no, assuredness.
It spells about. You remember that? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, we did that the other day.
Or gifts. There's another one, gifts.
Assurance.
Yeah.
Indifference, urgency,
Yeah, nice. No, he's cheating.
vanity,
Yeah, we give a few extras in there as well. Yeah.
and convo starters.
But you know what I mean? So you guys need to make sure you know that shit, yeah? Cool, easy. And when we get you guys to leadership, we actually need to test you on that as well, so make sure you know it.
Mhm.
Cool, so know your shit with your content. Make sure you catalog all your notes. Like, if you like writing like in a book like that, you might even every week just take a photo of each of them and then put them in your phone. And then you know you can create folders on your phone, right? You might just have like topic notes as a folder. So you put all those photos into one folder, because otherwise you scroll back through your 1,000 dodgy weekend photos. You know, where's my missus? Whoops. Where's my topic photo? You know what I mean? So you don't want to be doing that. Hey, check this is a photo of mum. She grabs your phone and like, whoa, get that back. Yeah, incriminating. Cool. Make sure you learn how to whiteboard train. So if you're ever going through a topic again, so like for example, if Jack watches us run the 8 steps or the grasp, like he doesn't need to know the topic, but he might watch how the topic's being run, so that next time he does it, oh, that was kind of good how he did this, or maybe something I wasn't doing here, or you know what I mean? So if you're ever not doing anything, you can just go and stand around one of the topics and just watch someone running the topic and be like, how do they prep for that? How are they engaging people? What kind of focus do they have? Make sure you know how to set up a day. So for you guys, if you want to write this one down for me, it's important. Every day you should have a goal. So if Manny goes, if I'm a leader and I'm working with James today, Manny's like, Mark, you with James, I'm like, sweet. And maybe my focus, I'm going to ask what the focus is. Do you want me to help coach James, or what's my agenda? And Manny's like, no, James is going pretty well. I just want you to kind of hang out and show him a good day. Cool. So I'm not going to be in his ear about training all day. So I might go, hey, James, you with me? Cool, this is our site we're going to. If I haven't been to the site, I'll find out from someone who has about the trends. I don't want to fucking know what sales they did. This is the problem. Have you been to that site? Yeah, I have. How'd you go? Shit. Cool, that's going to be a fun day today. Oh, sweet, I'll just go have a shit day too. Thanks for that, man. Have you been to that site? Yeah, cool. Before you say about your results, I don't really care. I need to know what the trends are like, what's the demographic like, when's the best time to go for breaks, what kind of quality customers are, do you know what I mean? That shit is important because they're controllables, yeah? I don't care whether you do 1 or 0 at the site, because I'm better than you anyway. I'll figure out how to find 2, 3, 4 customers without, I wouldn't say that, but in my mind, I'm not gonna, I don't care if someone's been there before, right? Even if me that's been there yesterday, I had 1 or 0. I'm like, fuck, who cares? I'm back to the same site. I'm gonna make the most of it. Cool? So we work that out. And then I'm gonna set up the day with them. I'm gonna be like, cool, what's your goal for this week? What's your daily goal? And I'm like, what's your goal this week?
My week's biggest goal.
What's your goal?
12.
12, so it's 2.5 a day he needs to do, 2.4 actually. So cool, so you'd be okay with the bell, but you'd be happy with the goal.
Yeah, I'll make goals today.
And I'd be like, what are you going so far for the week?
3.
You're on 3? Okay, so we have to get a goal. Sweet. I'm aiming for a goal and plus, so I'm actually aiming for 4 today, but I think we'll set the first site goal at 6. So if we hit our 6, we'll be okay with that, but let's try to push for 7 or 8. Sound good?
Yeah.
Let's go do it, man. I'm not doing anything less than 3 today. Let's do it. And I have that, and I start talking about that because I'm making myself accountable as a leader. He needs to know that I'm doing at least 3 today before I start. You gotta put your fucking chips on the table, man. And then you're all in, you gotta commit. So I'm gonna look like a dickhead to him if I didn't hit my goal. But there still will be some times where I don't hit my goal. So I have to say at the end, hey man, fuck, we missed our goal today. Let's just go through our numbers and work out why, and we'll be objective about it. I don't like losing. I don't like missing my target, but I can see some areas here where I could have improved. Cool. And I'm taking that responsibility on myself. Cool. Sorry I didn't set a great example today. Might have lost my attitude for a few hours there. I hope it didn't affect your day too much. That kind of stuff. Cool. Remember, you owe it to yourself and your site partner to keep your attitude positive all day. Make sure that you focus on breaking down and setting up days in terms of like your KPIs. So I think a lot of leaders at the end of the day, they don't just do that little recap at the end, like how was the day, let's look at the numbers. Instead of going, you just need to stop more people, go like, oh, I think if you worked on body language tomorrow, it'll help you increase your stops. Cool? Or your eye contact and stopping distance, if we could try and get that a bit further away tomorrow, you're gonna get more stops. Or let's work on a couple of different stopping lines, because you said the same stopping line fucking all day, need me out, right? You said the same shit all day. Lost my attitude because of your stopping line. Just kidding, but yeah, just make sure you got a few different ones. Okay, third step here is coaching in the field. So you got to make sure the coaching in the field is fun. So we've gone through sales so far, volume, quality, blah, 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 training and knowing your content in the office. Now we're into coaching in the field. Okay, so we kind of touched base on that with setting up the day, but make it fun, man. For you guys, I don't know how long we're going to be doing sales in the field for, but it might be a while. It was probably 2 years of pretty much full-time field for me before I ran a business. And some of you guys might do this for 6 months or a year or whatever and do something else, but you may as well enjoy it. So make it fun. Make sure you're enjoying like the day-to-day. If you don't know how to make it fun, just ask around. Maybe that's one of your tips for the next couple of days in the morning when you get here on time and no one's doing anything. But have you got any tips to make the field day a bit more fun? Have you got any attitude games you play? And some of the guys have some awesome shit they play that are like, as long as it's PC and professional. I've heard there's a few games out there that aren't. I'll give you some examples, but then I wouldn't want you to start playing them. So make sure you have fun in the field, because you're going to be spending 40, 50 hours a week doing it. Like, you guys will enjoy it. Start strong, finish strong. Try and get out there with a bit of a purpose. Like when you set up and you just crack it into it, you're doing that first hour of adapting and adjusting to work out the best intro. You got to start strong. You want to be really pushing to try and get a sale early. Cool. So you want to try and. Sometimes we feel like it's a bit of a warm up. If it was me, I'd be pitch practicing on the way in the car, so that I'm already warm. So when I start, it's like a sports match, right? Like if you're a professional athlete, do the NBA players just go on cold and just kind of slowly ease into it? Yeah, like fuck, you're going to tear a hamstring or something if you do that shit. Or tennis players, rugby players are at the stadium 3-4 hours before the game starts, like starting to slowly warm up, stretch, visualize mentally, all that kind of shit. We're like, we rolled out of bed half an hour before we need to be at the office, haven't had a coffee yet, haven't had enough sleep, still yawning. Get to the field, you know what I mean? Like, it's all good stuff, cruisy. You gotta fucking punch it in the face, man. Yeah? Even at a relaxed side, you don't want to come across intense, but your mental intensity needs to be like, I'm trying to sign up every fucker that I stop, right? Does that make sense? You can be fucking on it. So don't go to the toilet when you get there, because you missed 3 customers. Don't go get a snack. Don't go get a coffee. Like, you should already have that shit done. Let's go, At least work for an hour, then give yourself a break. Or I try and do 2-hour blocks for me, like always 2 hours, because I reckon I get a bit of momentum. The hardest thing is if you're doing a 3-man, you've only got 1 hour, so you really got to be even more intense. Cool. Get excited about the law of averages. You need to start believing in the numbers. So if you want to write down get excited about them. If I've had all this bullshit in the morning, like negative customers, rain, fucking whatever, I'm like, let's go. Like, we're gonna get a good LOAs, because we're just trying to be. I'm like, if I can get a good kind of deal with all this bad shit, I'll get some good karma from the universe. It's just how it goes. Like, if I can try and be a good bastard, try and keep positive in spite of all the bullshit, like someone good will come along. You ever had someone come along and go like, oh, you guys are so, like, I'd lovely to see a smile on a bad day like this, or you must be freezing, like, well done keeping it positive, or people don't feel sorry for you. It doesn't work like if it's a shit day and you're sitting there going like, people aren't going to be like, oh, are you okay? You want to cuddle? Here's my credit card. Doesn't work like that, right? You wish. Cool. Commentary. Okay, so try and comment in terms of like your performance or analysing the site. And this is probably more for the leaders, but try and give feedback a bit more when it's slow. Because if you're at a slower site, it's a great opportunity for teaching. Or if you're newer, you guys, like if you're at a slower site and there's like probably an hour where there's only like a handful of people walking past, you probably need to get 2 or 3 stops for that hour. Make sure you're like learning something. You could fucking run through an 8 steps topic, or do some ejection handling, or practice your intro. I used to like actually go on at the site and be like, I'm just gonna walk over there, you're gonna pretend I'm a customer, I'm gonna watch your body language, trying to stop me. Like I probably wouldn't have stopped for that, those kind of shit. Or try to use a different stopping line, or think about that stuff. Cool, and then closing off the day, which we've kind of already covered, but just being able to explain why or how we succeeded or didn't succeed throughout the day, what we could have improved on, mechanics. Sweet. So there's really 2 things that come down to sales, if you want, in a nutshell. All it is really is mentality and your mechanics, or your skill set, right? Like, which is like what you know and how you act, pretty much. So if you want to think about those 2 things, like I can teach you all the information you need to learn in sales, but if you've got a bad attitude, you're probably not going to succeed. Same with if you've got a really good attitude, but you don't fucking know what you're doing, you're probably not going to succeed. So I think we definitely teach enough mechanics stuff, but mentality we try and teach. It's a harder one to teach because it's really an intangible. It's about how you focus on your mentals all day, but it's really like what goes on inside your head. I can't remember one of the books, it might have been How to Win Friends and Influence People, but there's a study done on this guy. He's done a study on like if you set up a factory in your brain, okay, and your brain was an empty space, and at each end of the factory there's a desk, and one of the desks is a business called Mr. Positive, and the other end of the factory, another desk is a desk called Mr. Negative. Whichever one you feed the most work to will take over the majority of the space of the factory. And then the factory ends up being programmed that way, and that's what's going to happen. So if you're naturally thinking about reasons you can't succeed, or the weather, or uncontrollables, or People that have already, an hour ago, that person who called you a dickhead, are you still worrying about him? Mr. Negative is going to grow so big that Mr. Positive won't really have much room to actually do anything. So you got to make sure you're feeding the positives. Try and not vocalize anything out of your mouth that's a negative or an uncontrollable. If it's cold, try not to even say it out loud. I used to work with Manny, and like I'm a bit more of a realist. Like I don't believe all the airy fairy fucking. I'm not like a positive affirmation guy. Look in the mirror and say all that shit. But you know, it works for people. I'm not, like, don't get me wrong if you guys do that. But Manny, like he'll be. If I was working with him and it was cold, I'd be like, it's pretty cold today. But I wouldn't be saying it as a negative. I'll be trying to like just acknowledge the fact that it's cold, and then I'm still trying to be positive. He would tell me to shut the fuck up. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, that's not helpful. I'm like, fair enough. It's true, right? It's not going to help anything, is it? If it rains today, if it's cold today, if it's slow today, you know, people are a bit negative today. It's hard to stop people today. It kind of ends up being like a spiral of what we say and then we convince ourselves on the negative shit. So you got to convince yourself on the positive. Fourth one is just more for the guys that are coaching and training. Last one here is just managing. So managing a team, making sure you're running team meetings, showcasing your business, goals. If you want to write down, for you guys, you can all write this down, goals, short-term, mid-term, long-term. For me, short-term is 1 month, mid-term's 3 months, long-term is 6 months. As you build your team and think a bit bigger, short-term might be 3 months, mid-term 6 months, long-term 1 year. But you guys are all young, man, like, you don't know what you're going to be doing in 5 years, 10 years. When I was new in business, we used to get told to make like a 10-year game plan, and I'm like, it's just too far away. So think 1 month, 3 months, 6 months to start. And then, you know, once you start progressing and hitting some sales goals and building your team and changing your thinking a little bit, you'll have a light bulb moment where you're like, oh, maybe I could do this, you know, maybe this is going to work for me, maybe I am progressing, maybe I am learning, maybe I am making some good income and things are starting to happen, and then everything will change. Then you'll start thinking longer, you'll commit a bit more. As soon as you commit, it's game over, man, you'll win, you know. So it probably took me 6-7 months, I think, before I like really committed to this industry. Like it took me to the point where I was like managing like 12, 15 guys, where I was like, oh, I could probably do this, you know, like I was pretty deep in, but the problem was I didn't have the skill set to manage that many guys, so I ended up having people leave my team, like it was like a revolving door, man, like we couldn't retain anyone, just because I wasn't good enough to manage that many people. I just chucked myself in the deep end, but I was like, fuck it, I'll figure it out. I don't care if that's what has to happen for a little bit until I gain the knowledge and experience to be able to manage more people. And a bit of self-confidence too, like I have to believe in myself that I can do it and show them how to do it.
If we get to managing director, do we have to do what you do, like the whole talking in the morning to like?
Do it
Five-
finance your own company,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, but like I'd probably recommend doing that to start off.
Mhm,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure. I've been pretty good at I coached a few MDs in my time. I've got 4 in the industry, so I don't have to do much coaching with Shane anymore. I also don't really have to do much with Manny and Nick and Guy, but those guys have only been running business for a couple of years. They're still kind of, in my mind, like 2 years, 3 years for you guys might sound like a long time, but to running a business, the first couple of years quite volatile. Like a lot of companies don't make it past 5 years, so that's why we're kind of like keeping them close and just keep them accountable and make sure that they're still working hard. And Manny's still going to the field. Nick's starting to go in the field this week. Guys in the field, so they're not like my time's done now. I'm a business owner. I'm going to sit in my chair and be lazy. They're like, what can I do to keep pushing my business, keep driving averages? But yeah, all that stuff's it's part of recognition, right? So you don't have to do it, but it's a proven method. Like you may as well copy the system that works. And then if you start kicking ass, and then I might not need to do that. So yeah, team meetings, showcasing your business, goal setting, and just tracking your results as well. Like, do you guys track your numbers, track your targets? You have your daily, weekly. You got that all put away somewhere. You can reflect on like if I was like, Jack, how was your January? Like, how was January for you? You could be like, oh yeah, cool. Here's my numbers. Bam, bam, bam. How was that compared to last month, February, March? You know what I mean? Cool. That's it. Okay, 9:19. I reckon we might jump out to the main room and do the next stuff on grass steps. Should we do that?